Hello, hello. What is going on? It is me, Jay Renard, and we are live. So, today we will be knocking out a few, uh, gonna prep these two wallets and then knock out a few more just like this out of cowhide and a few other exotic leathers too. Likely these ones. These are actually scrap that I cut earlier months ago and I ended up never using. And I'm gonna put those to use for something for these ones here. All right, I'm gonna see if I can simultaneously have music going and monitor the chat. I think there's a way, so let me check that out. But so I'll be doing these ones second. I'm gonna cut a few of these to get ready to go. From red and purple, and I don't know about that blue. It's a little thick. And this brown leather that I have here too. Also, let me know if the audio is a little off or if I'm maybe talking a little too loud. I got a mic and I have it attached, so let's see how that one rolls. All right, so please forgive me while I get a few of these things set up. All right, and while we're here, let's go on ahead, get some of these things out and ready. My scratch all must be in a different spot, but that's okay. All right. So I should be able to see the chat from here. I'll be a little bit behind, a little bit laggy, but we should be all right. But the sound is coming through pretty solid, so that's good. I'm not seeing the chat. Did I have the chat turned off? What's going on? Let me change it to the desktop. All right, and there we go with the chat. Okay, and now to hack the system. And I think that we will be in there like swimwear. Ooh, disco lo-fi. Man, this better not only be 3 minutes. All right. Actually, I might be a little bit loud. turn this away. There we go. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna prep these and then make, then cut out some pieces to basically the same style of wallet, but with this one here, and then we'll make a couple of these, and very blatant shout out to Jody from Just One More Watch. I got the one in the mail. I love this strap. So far it's really great. Feels great, nice weight to it, easily readable, good stuff. All right, so for all the prep, we're going to need some glue to put the edges together, glue to put it all together. But before all of that, we're going to need some neatsfoot oil compound. I'm sorry, neatsfoot oil. I don't have the compound. So we're going to do that, add this here, and then that'll give it a nice golden brown, or a golden, like, pale tan. And that's how we'll leave that. And then we'll, after that oil sets in, then we're going to go ahead and get to the prep, and then we'll knock out a couple more, get ready to get stitched, and then I'll do some, maybe 3 to 4 of these. All right, let me start my timer, see how this rolls. Okay. Have that off to the side there. Make sure the frame is right. Okay, so back here is out of frame. So I got to keep everything forward of this, and everything will be just fine. Also, I should have addressed this sooner, but if things go well, if I'm making good progress, this here is the template for a bag that I might be making depending on the time that we make. Hold on one second. So this template here makes this bag. Minus the tooling there and some of that action. But this shape here. So if we're doing really well on time, I might start this. It's truthfully only 2 pieces. Excuse me, only 3 pieces. So this and then 2 of these. But it's in its simplicity, there are difficulties. All right, let's get to it. Let me make sure this isn't zoomed in at all. All right, cool. Keeping everything above this line. Sorry about all this, y'all. I gotta get the word out. I'm sorry. And there's that. Okay, let's. I'm shooting for fewer distractions. Move that over. All right, cool. So these two pieces there, they don't get any neat's foot oil on it. So we're going to set those to the side. And this piece here will get the logo stamp treatment. It will get it right here in the center, maybe a little bit higher. So behind the cards is where you'll see it. So those will be the last ones to get done. And then this will sit to the side. And make sure this mic is angled towards me. All right, so this should be a little better. Keeping it simple, nothing crazy. And as soon as I said that, I just oversaturated this. Also, what the heck is that? That just looks odd. There we go. Might have just been a really, really dark fiber, but it looked like some kind of debris. All right, let's move this down here too. So you can see the color, and it goes from the pale color of veg tan to this rich brown color. Now it will lighten up, but it will stay noticeably a darker shade. And it doesn't require an extra coat. This isn't technically a dye, so that's not what you're going for this. Put that over there as well. Technically speaking, no one's going to see the lower portion of this card, but I still want to make sure that there's even coverage. And again, if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, grievances, or requests, please let me know. I will do my best to answer, respond, address, and If it is a valid concern, I will make necessary adjustments. It's a big if, by the way. It's a big if. Let me hit refresh just to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right. So normally, when doing things like custom tooling, you need to dip your leather in water, let it, well, maybe not dip, but apply some water to your piece. Let the water get in a little bit, maybe go through about halfway through the thickness. Then you would commence your tooling. In the strictest sense, affixing your logo is you're you're getting the same results as tooling, but I don't treat it the same. If I'm just affixing my logo, I'm just gonna press it in. The leather will take, and I won't need to wait several hours for the piece to dry before I can commence on. So, going to reapply some oil, add that to, then apply oil here, and then, yeah. No! I blame my hands. Yes, yes, I control them, but still. Also, sorry if I got really, really loud. I stood up and I'm literally right next to the mic. That's a lot of oil for that application, so I'm gonna cheat. You know what's really weird? Leather is oddly absorbent. So, there's that. And maybe give it one more coat. That first massive coat, and then this one here, I think they're probably got the same amount of oil content in there, except for that corner. All right, now I'm gonna affix the logo. Shout out to the first viewer. What's going on? I appreciate you. Sorry I'm off camera right now. I am... Actually, you know what? Let's rotate this a bit. There we go. So this is my press here. So I've already got the press set at the proper height for using my cutter dies, which is far too high for pressing in the logos. So what I do is I just add another piece to the top that fills in that extra gap. Make sure everything is properly lined up, and then I just apply the pressure in the cutter here. Yep, done and done. Appreciate the like, thank you very much. And then to make sure that everything is evenly distributed because the logo is pretty large. There we go. And there we have the logo pressed in. And lather, rinse, repeats. If it can be helped, you want to make sure that the thing that you're pressing is in the center, because you want as much force distributed down across the largest cross section of it. For instance, if this were a die for cutting, you wouldn't want it centered too far over here. Most of the pressure downward would be on this side instead of this side. So you want to make sure that it's evenly distributed as much as you can. Now that piece, because there's a lot of detail in it, I don't want to lose any. So I make sure I put it direct pressure in the center, then a little bit of pressure towards the bottom and the top. That's what those last two were, just to ensure that the detail stays. Put that back where it belongs. And something I learned the hard way, this surface is very, very hard, and pressing the die in, or the stamp in, will get the hard outline right there, no problem, but not so much the detail on the inside, unless the piece itself is very thick, or if, in the case of something like this that's really thin, I put a thicker, softer piece behind it, then all the detail shows up. So on something like a holster, I wouldn't have to do that because that leather is really thick. But on something thin like this, I got to use a softer backing piece. All right. Rotate it back and down. What's going on? Got another person in the chat. Thank y'all for showing up. I appreciate it. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, or grievances, I'll hear them all. Go ahead and put those in the chat, please. I can't see the chat from the device I'm screening from, so I won't see it real time, but I should see it maybe about 45 seconds or a minute behind. But yeah, just toss it in the chat and I will answer it as best I can. Those are scrap, although that could be used again. All right. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is prepping for the glue. My glue spreader, well, one of the many, down here. Where's my good one? Well, that's a lie. They're all good, but I use the smaller one with the angle to it because it's, there we go, covers a lot of area. This one is nice for larger pieces, so if I had to cover something much bigger than this, fine, but this one's ideal. All right, so the thing that I greatly disliked still to this day about this pattern is that although it is really straightforward, There's no marking on this piece here for the pocket alignment. So you basically have to reverse engineer this bad boy. So you've got to go here, line up the pockets, see where the top is, and then line up the sides, and then line up the top one again. Come on. And that is where this goes. That moved a little bit. Dang it. I don't want to do this again, but I have to. There's people watching. So I don't like doing it like this because this extra bulk causes the pieces to bow up. I like when I lay it on top, but okay, there we go. Everything has worked out. So, to ensure that this piece doesn't move while I'm applying the glue, just weight it down with something, nothing too crazy, just something that won't move. Let me and then get a little bit of glue because you don't need much. Now, the usual application for this sort of glue is to apply it to both sides, to one side and then the other, and then let them get tacky, and then put them together once they start getting tacky together. So what I tend to do is I'll apply it to the one side, properly line up where the glue should be, and then prep for the rest of the wallet. And because I'm going to machine stitch this one, I don't really need to get the get this pocket stitched before I add this one, because when I go to the machine, I'm going to machine stitch the bottom, then once that's attached, machine stitch that piece right there, then we're good to go. But what I am going to do is I'm going to prep for stitching this piece. And anybody want to hazard a guess what this material here is? Drop your attempts at guessing in the chat if you so wish. But I'm going to prep this piece for the gluing. Nothing has to happen to this piece here. Both this and this are going to get attached at the same time. Or I'm sorry, they'll be sewed at the same time. So I'm going to prep this one for the gluing already. I'm sorry, also, not already. Normally, I put my logos on the outside of the wallets, but these pockets don't, this material doesn't take well to tooling, Maybe if I had some branding or something like that, it would work. But that is not my that's not my jam. The branding and the pyrography. I bought some books on it. I even tried it a couple of times. It turned out okay, but I could do without it, quite honestly. And truthfully, I'm gonna might as well just go ahead and apply the glue here. Put that away. Come on. There we oh, a little too much. Actually, that's already applied, so. Here's the funny thing about a lot of these leather glues. Most of them, you can just apply it, and even if it gets dried out all the way, it'll still hold to the other piece as long as the other piece has glue on the other side. And it could be dry or tacky, it'll still hold. It's better when you put them together when they're just a bit tacky, but still turns out really well. Nah, I'll do this one. Oh, anybody care to hazard a guess as to what this material here is as well? Go ahead. I'm doing the double up. Guess which materials, which animals these two hides are from. No penalty for getting it wrong. I won't sit in eternal judgment. I lack the ability to. Reapply. There we go. Please forgive me if you are asking questions in the comments. The screen off to the side that I'm looking at isn't showing me anything. After I get this second set of pockets properly aligned, I'm gonna check the chat. No, here we go. I think I mentioned it earlier, but whenever you're doing any sort of glue work with the leather, have a nice bit of crepe leather, or I'm sorry, crepe rubber to erase. Helps to remove any excess glue off of the project without damaging anything. Sorry if this keeps getting out of frame. I keep subconsciously moving it closer to me. Nobody has any guesses about the material? Let's see if live chat, everything. All right, cool. Get the small paddle. There we go. And here we go. Oh, side note for everybody here. Here's a pro tip if you want to preserve your pieces, or not really preserve, if you want to extend the life of your hides. The things that will not be seen by the intended recipient, be it a friend or family or a customer, what have you, if it will be out of their sight and it doesn't damage the integrity of the piece, you can have little offcuts like this in there. You see this little piece right here in the corner didn't make it. That's fine. The card stops down here, and this little nick right there of the corner not being there doesn't negatively influence the performance of the pocket at all. All the stitching will be down here to keep the card in place. We'll keep the card slot in place and keep the card in place. This little thing right here, it's of no issue. So in the case of, where you think, oh, there's not enough material for me to do this, or I have to cut from somewhere else, you can probably still use it. Just make sure you're being honest with yourself when you, if that's, that comes to it. And if you're doing it just because you want to be lazy, well, maybe you shouldn't do it. But if you are doing it because the piece of material is just as good and useful, then by all means don't feel any trepidation about using a piece that is a little bit off. Now, if it was messed up here or had some pitting or scarring or something like that, that's something that people can see above. Don't do that unless it's a hide of something that has a lot of gouges and scars, things like that, like hippos. Hippo skin has a lot of scrapes and scratches and scars on it because hippos fight a lot. They're pretty violent. So yeah, don't feel bad about any of that. You know what? I think I'm about to get lazy. And by lazy, I mean I don't want to leave the stream to go and go to the machine and stitch. So I'm going to here we go. So I'm just going to hand stitch in these the pockets or the card slots. The words don't work for me today. Do I have something? Nope. And in keeping it's similarly in keeping with the material color. Let me get something that's not so big if I can help it. Nope. I'm gonna use this this red thread. No one will see it, honestly, unless somebody just gets really curious and looks on the inside. But I don't want to stop the stream and walk over, extend the production time. I love this blade, by the way. It's one of my favorites. Got this from Vintage Markets, I believe. He let me pick out the colorway and the wood and everything, and the steel is crazy hard. It's a it's a beast to sharpen, but it keeps the edge, and stropping it does wonders. I don't need to do much. It is still hard to pick up small things, if you can believe that. Hold on. Oh, hey, what's going on? Appreciate you coming over from the stream. I'm glad. Thank you for the interest. Very much. I appreciate it. We have, I guess, similar likes in art. Me and Mike, but our mediums are vastly different. Come on. Hey, Skull Reaper, if you have any questions, just hit me up in the chat. I try my best to be attentive to when the questions come in. Although, full disclosure, I do get a little zoned in with some of this stuff here. Hold on a second. There we go. And if you have any guesses as to what sort of leather, what animal this material here or this one here comes from, go ahead and let me know. I'd love to see what's on folks' minds so far as the kind of material they think I'm working with. I will give you a hint, and that it is very durable. Please don't say rhino. Rhino is 1,000,000,000% illegal. I don't have it. I don't want it. I don't want to be associated with that. I'm all for exotic hides and things like that, stuff that can be legally acquired, but I do not have rhino. It's a hard no. Whoa. A Skull Reaper, are you also over in Europe like Mike is? Yeah, sorry I keep taking it out of frame. I have to use a tool to pull this one through the second, any of the holes that have another strand through. I started working on the. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I don't know what I was thinking when I decided to just knock out a Goku wallet, but it turned out nice, and I'll be I'll have it for sale at this farmer's market that I'm going to this weekend. Next month, I have not next month, I'm sorry, in April, there's a market that is going to be at a Smash Brothers tournament. So I'm going to make a lot of Nintendo themed stuff. Going to have some invincibility stars and all that craziness. Whoa. Buffalo, you are kind of close. So this one is a Cape buffalo, the kind that you find in Africa and Asia. So you're right, but not the buffalo in America, not those sorts of buffaloes. Or I should say North America, because they're all the way from Canada to maybe northern Mexico might have a few. All right, I need a lighter. I'll be right back. All right, so as soon as I grab the lighter, I realized that I had one of these. So this is a Thread Zap 2. I don't know what a Thread Zap 1 looks like. But what this does is it melts the clipped ends of things that are sewn together, as long as you use synthetic stuff like nylon, polyester, so forth and so on. Doop, doop, doop. And the battery had died. I hadn't been using it for a couple of days. That's why I forgot about it. So I just grabbed a battery, called it good. So here is why the Thread Zap is much better for crafting in general, but especially for leather. You have to bring the flame close to your project, and you could potentially damage your project. So you can see there hopefully it's in focus. The thread was melted and pressed down, so it's not gonna back through the hole there and start to come undone. However, I did singe a little bit of the piece because I had to bring the flame real close to it. But the Thread Zap, it just applies heat through that filament without exposing the piece to fire. Make sure that's tight there before there we go. So, great way to end off your stitches. Nice and smooth. Easy day. Those aren't backing through. So that's there. Man, I gotta have a slimmer needle. No way these are the only ones. I think they're all the same. Damn. Yeah, this one was, the eye of this is just a little bit bigger than the holes that I punched. And I was hoping I could have something smaller to just glide through. But no joy, such is life. No, stay upright. Any guesses as to what this one might be? It is noticeably, just noticeably bigger than a buffalo. There we go. I swear this normally goes faster, but I am trying to keep it informative and entertaining for the folks watching. Doop doo doo. It's the only thing I don't like about this. It doesn't control its heat. So a fresh battery, you'll have high heat and it'll operate really quickly. As the battery dies, the heat will die off. And if it would just operate at the same workable heat, then the battery would last longer. But hey, it is what it is. Bison. No. I will give you a hint. I lied when I said it was slightly bigger. It is significantly bigger. And as near as anyone can tell, it is a vegetarian. this excess glue off. Oh man, let me tell you, I am hurting today. Last 2 days of working out were brutal on this old man. And today I was like, all right, keeping it light, cardio, nothing crazy. Couple of miles outside, fresh air. But then right when I was leaving, I was like, I could do a back workout. So of course I'm hating myself now, because I know tomorrow is going to be a sore day. I mean, I'll be the better for it, but still. There we go. Of all the odd things that I use a lot of, I use a lot of binder clips in Leathercraft. Odd, right? Ton of binder clips for Leathercraft. Correct. Exactamundo. That is elephant hide. This one here. Specifically from the body, elephant ear has a different look and texture to it. It is an exotic, and it does make people a little bit upset sometimes when they find out that I work with elephant hide. Mostly because most people assume that anything from elephants is illegal or it's poached. And I make sure that I buy all of my stuff from certified and authorized sources. But people's shock, or sometimes even outrage, it's understandable. I try to explain to them, the reality about how I acquire it, but, people will believe what they want. It's fine. The most I can do is tell them the truth of the matter, and if they accept it, great. If they don't, that's also great. I mean, who am I to tell somebody how they should feel? Most I can do is just tell them the reality of me, What they do with that's on them, and that's their right. Come on, there we go. I wouldn't have expected it. How funny. How random office tools. Oh, yeah. And it's because they're sold in so many different sizes, and they can apply a decent amount of pressure, but it's spread out over something really wide, so it doesn't leave impressions too bad. I mean, for instance, there's basically nothing there, because it's holding it over distance. They're not very expensive, and so you just use them to keep a lot of your stuff together. I've seen people who were stitching a bag together. Guy had about like 30 of these things all around, keeping it together while he stitched it, and it works. It holds strong enough that it won't just let your stuff come apart, but not so strong that it leaves marks in your material. Now, if I had something really thin or really soft, oh, well, that might not be the case in that instance, but in general, oh yeah. I've bought so much random stuff for this craft. Like, for instance, and I tell all my leather crafter friends this, the thing that I found that is best for applying dyes and sometimes oil too, depending on what it is that they're doing, makeup sponges. Makeup sponges are designed to apply liquids, or I, I guess strictly like certain sorts of makeup are really thick, so it's a paste, but they're meant to apply it without leaving streaks behind. And that's what I was when I was dyeing using. Where's the thing at? There we go. Yeah, when I was applying dye with the wool daubers here, as you use it, it gets a little bit mushed up and it doesn't look so great. And there's all these extra little fray hairs and everything here. And it was affecting the outcome. And I can't remember who it was had suggested or where I got the idea for the makeup sponges, but I realized, oh, these are designed to apply and not leave streaks. So I started buying makeup sponges and using them, and I have not had a problem at all applying dye or finish or anything like that with with the sponges. So here I am, a single guy, buying a ton of makeup sponges. Looks weird, but makes sense. Where? I don't wanna, but I gotta. I forgot to get the excess off of there. So, Mr. Skull Reaper, do you also do artwork or do any sort of craft, anything like this? Or is this sort of thing just something that you just find interesting and you follow the folks who provide the thing that's interesting to you? And doesn't wait. Yeah, yeah. Doesn't really need the extra application, but I'm gonna do it anyway. There are a couple of bare spots, so there we go. Like I uses fingernail detail brushes for. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what he does? I totally forgot that he does that. Mm. All right, now let's hope I don't mess this up. 3D art. Okay. Super dope. Why is some guy driving the wrong direction in my neighborhood? Okay, he's just turning around. Got it. Oh my god, am I the nosy neighbor? Oh crap, I'm the nosy neighbor. Oh, I feel so guilty. I never thought I'd be the nosy guy. I am. Oh, it's super dope. Well, I have a really odd pro tip for you. So, if you have any original work that you've done, first off, congratulations. Original artwork is it's a rarity, especially now because there's so many people making their own renditions of other stuff or using pieces of something else to do things. But if you have your own original stuff and you are comfortable sharing, then do possibly just do a live stream or do a live stream of what it is that you're doing or screen record but time lapse it where you'll start with one thing and then the process of how you make one of your characters. And I say that you should do it with your character because if you do it with somebody else's, then you run into a potential copyright issue with you posting. And also, if somebody else tries to repost your stuff, then especially if they're getting a ton of engagement, then you can use the system to make sure, hey, give me credit for this original artwork because they haven't been credited. So when that person does, then the all of their engagement will be stuff that is for you as well. Please don't misabuse the copyright system, the copy strike system. But if you are using something that's yours and somebody else is using your stuff to get more engagement, just shoot them a message or be like, "Oh, hey, credit me, please." Most people will do it. Most of the time, that sort of thing is it's an innocent mistake. People just don't understand how that rolls. But it is a good way to um, increase engagement, increase your online following for art, especially, and you'll end up in contact or in orbit of people who do the same thing, and you'll have access to all these people who are willing to help you out. My own Etsy shop and finish a portfolio. So I can. Oh, it's super dope. Dope. Yes. Don't forget to add stuff like that into your bio, because a lot of times people will start a channel and they'll just do their thing. It'll grow, and they'll put their stuff in the links for their videos. But most of the time, people are going to see the channel before they see all of the videos. So once you have that there, make sure that you link that. That'll be super awesome. This is coming along nicely. I really hope I don't screw up when I stitch. I'm to the point now where I can use my sewing machine without the guides to keep the stitch a certain distance from the edge. Doo. All right, thanks. Super dope. And if you haven't already, check out my Instagram. It's just j.renard.leather, and shoot me your channel stuff. I'll check it out. I like seeing new things, new interesting things. I try to keep that one only art and music, so my suggestions are limited to artists and sometimes comedians. I like seeing funny stuff too. I would like a stitching machine to restitch designs on forces and joy. Okay, so what you would need would be something like oh wait, hold, do you mean you want it to stitch it onto the shoe as it's already after it's already been constructed? Because that's a different kind of machine. But if you're talking about taking them apart, then putting them back together, there's that's a different, much cheaper machine. Only on Twitter right now, super dope. Breaking down and putting them together. Okay. What is a good one? Because as long as you don't take them fully apart, so if you just maybe pop some stitches, then any heavy duty fabric sewing machine, something that's meant for denim and canvas, should work on something for shoes. Once you get to the leather specific sewing machines, man, that price jumps up about $900 to $1,000 at a minimum. I mean, I got my first machine in I got very lucky. I got my first machine for about $1,700, and that was because it was a new collaboration between Sailrite and Tandy Leather. I was thinking of just replacing panels and such. Okay. But you would need a machine with what's referred to as a cylinder arm or a post bed. All right, and let me see if I can. Okay, so the new machine that I have, and I posted it in on my last Instagram video that I had a picture of a holster that I just stitched up, and in the background you can see the machine. So say this is the main body of the machine where all the motor and everything is. Then it comes out, and then there's the bottom plate of the sewing machine here. Then the upper part with the needle and the feed, right here, and this part here, there's no table. It comes out like a big arm, and it's mostly cylindrical. They call it a cylinder arm. That sort of thing is best for what you're talking about, because you can get a shoe around the end of this piece, and you can move it around. That would work for what you're talking about. Also, what's referred to as a post bed. So it's similar to a shorter cylinder arm, or to a flatbed, where the thing comes out, but then the end pops up like this, and you're stitching around this part right there, and it's much slimmer, comparatively size. It's much slimmer, and you can maneuver a shoe all around the head of that cylinder, of that post rather. Those sorts of things are best for what you're talking about. However, I have not seen those for cheaper than $2,600. And that's before the freight shipping, which is 400, 500 plus. So if you're getting one brand new, it'll do the job, but it's going to be a bunch. Yeah. Now, here is where I would. All right, so quick detour from the leather talk real quick. Got to talk business. If you haven't already, get a business license for your art company. Because you might not consider it a company, but if you can make money from it, you might as well get it registered. Contrary to popular belief, especially when you are a smaller business and you aren't producing something that could physically harm someone, You don't need the distance from the liability right now. You can register for a license. You don't need a business license. You don't need to register for an LLC. One, registering for a business license is much cheaper. If it's $100 in whatever county that you're in, I'll be surprised. Most of the time, it's much less than $100. For me, it was about 45. And you'll get a tax ID number. And then, when you do your taxes at the end of the year, the things that you bought for your business are business write-offs. Now, since you're just getting started, I think I would definitely caution you against buying something for $3,000 and then just saying, "Oh, Uncle Sam, write this off." Maybe give that a while. But you can, if you need to, purchase something like that, and then it will be a business expense. But you need to have your business license first. I would strongly suggest if you are, if that's something that you want to do, and especially if it's in the field of business that you're in, speak with a lawyer, either a tax lawyer or an accountant. For this one, truthfully, you'd probably just need an accountant and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm trying to do. Is this a legitimate expense?" And more often than not, especially when you explain what's going on, they'll say, "Yes, this is legitimate. However, make sure that you're operating a profitable business." Because if you just write everything off and you're always running losses, you can only claim stuff for so long before Uncle Sam won't tolerate that anymore. So if you're going to spend that money, you got to make sure that you're trying to do good business instead of just writing things off. All right, so economics lesson over, tax lesson over. This is ready to go. This is ready to go. I'm going to knock out a couple more. And then we will get this thing rolling. Okay. Please let there be enough on that, because I really, really want to do an ostrich one. But I don't want to use up a lot of hide if I don't have to. Pro tip. Ostrich hide is super thin for the most part. Crazy, crazy thin. But it's great for a liner because it's so thin. So what I'm going to do is find the piece that I want, and I really, really want this piece. It's too small, I think, for... Yeah, it's too small for the back, but I think I should be able to get a front pocket piece out of this. That's kind of, they're going to work on painting shoes and 3D prints. Build the money for it, though, through the shoes and prints sold. Super awesome. Plan B is finished portfolio, get into the industry. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I know the art industry is, it's a little bit weird. Like, you have to, unless you just have a new or innovative product or such a crazy high skill, you always have to work with a lot of people. You kind of got to get your foot in the door, which unfortunately means working for cheap. And I have heard of some people working for free for the quote unquote experience. Really, it's just letting other established artists see that you aren't terrible. And then they'll either hire you or suggest your stuff to other people. In my opinion, I think that's a little bit mean. If somebody's good, hire them, and then if they suck, fire them quickly. That's my outlook on it. If they seem to be good, take the risk on them. If they're great, you win. If it turns out that they're not good, if you can't coach them into being a little bit better, then just let them go. But hey, it is what it is. But, okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. Front pocket, back pocket, or rather, front pocket, back piece. So I'll get some of this action here, and then some of this action there. Oh, thank goodness. I didn't want to have to use up this. This has some really, really prominent quill marks, but it's a big piece. So I'm going to put that away. Then the next one will probably be from this piece. All right. Let's remove the clutter here. Won't need that for a bit. That can stay there. Will not be needing this, thank goodness. Might still need that. Don't need this. We'll definitely need those later. Ta-da. What do you got here? They do run art tests. I'm planning to present my applications. Super awesome. Okay. That's dope. Well, I will, if you feel comfortable with it, go ahead and drop your Twitter handle. I'm sorry, your X handle. I still say Twitter. I'm sorry. I can't not say it. Anyway, put it in the chat. I will go and check it out. And I'll give it a follow. I'm down to support. Oh yeah, I was saying earlier. So what I was talking about with the thinness of the material. So this is going to be really thin, and it's gonna flop around a bit. Not like this. It'll be a lot more flimsy. So what I'm going to do is cut this piece out from somewhere over here, and then use the same material as a backing, as a liner, so that I'm still using all my material. So to do that, we're going to barge it up. I'll have to post more. I've been kind of a hermit. See, I'm a lot of the same way. I'll get zoned in and I'll make stuff, and then I will realize that a lot of the stuff that I recorded while I was making just never got posted. Then I have to go and do the photo retouching, and I'm sorry, the color correction, or the video editing for color and sound, all this other stuff. I'll end up with a solid 3 days worth of work because I didn't just post it as I was doing it. But hey, it's the nature of the thing there. And I keep forgetting to post on certain sites. Apparently sometime months ago, if not years ago, Instagram took off the ability to auto post to certain platforms. For instance, you used to be able to push from Instagram to Facebook and to Twitter and to, well, I was living in Japan at the time, so I could push to this app called Line that everybody was using. It's crazy popular over there. It's a combination of Facebook and Twitter and a running news feed and Instagram. It was all those things, all in one thing, and you could phone, call, and message on it. So if you ever go out to Japan and you're talking to some girl and she asks you what your line is, it's because she's using the Line app to talk to people as opposed to just phone calls. It's pretty dope. And all the stuff is free. So free calls and texting wherever someone is if they have Line. So it's pretty awesome. But I used to be able to post everywhere, just bam. And then they slowly stopped auto posting to these places. So now only place you can auto post to from Instagram is Facebook. Then after the post, you have the option of posting to these other apps, but it's you're not making a post to the other apps. You're sending a link to your post to the other app. And the reason that I was posting on so many places was because not everybody likes to open a link or open a post to a link. They want to open the post and see the thing. So now I have to make a post on Instagram because Instagram has the best compression rate for video. So when you make something and you post it and it's high quality, it'll maintain the high quality in the post. And then auto share it to Facebook, unless it's a reel, unless it's a reel with certain type of audio, then it won't auto share to Facebook. Found that out the hard way. So now I have to sometimes post the same thing to Instagram and Facebook because of rules that they don't explain. So don't feel bad about being a hermit for the posting. These places are not making it easy to post. They're being stingy, honestly. For instance, you can auto post to Instagram from TikTok, but you cannot post from TikTok to Instagram. You can't do it. You have to copy the link and then, or not copy the link, but you have to download the video that you made on Instagram and then upload it to TikTok. And thankfully, if it's a video that you made with audio in it, like a sound from the site, because the licensing was already paid for by Instagram/Facebook, then you won't have a copyright strike when you post it on TikTok. But guess who doesn't give you that same grace coming the other way around? That's right. Instagram. Like, since the 3D is one of those things that is almost useless to post until it's ready. So yes and no. And not to say that what you're doing is useless. I think that sounded kind of mean. There are people who are very interested in the how-to process. Maybe folks just are wonder how did this get created, and maybe there's somebody who is maybe somebody coming into the art space who just thinks, oh man, that's interesting. How did this person do that? And they want to see the process. So you'll likely get far more engagement with the completed process, but there should still be some really good engagement to be had from the how-to process. I want to have something post 3 times per week. Oh, dope. That's really good. So what you could do, and it will require a little bit of presence of mind though, is you can make things, and then as you're making them, get them, just record it, all that other good stuff. Make your, have your progress, and then go back and then make content about that afterwards, and then just post it later. So the stuff that you're posting would be stuff that was done a week ago, 2 weeks ago, what have you. And so that way your actual work is ahead of the stuff that you're posting. So that gives you the opportunity to cherry pick what you want, as opposed to being very concerned with producing something and then posting it, and maybe posting something that you aren't happy with. A lot of times that's what I'll do, especially if I have a lot of things that are recorded and I have to spend a whole day just doing video editing. And if I end up with 3 to 4 good sized videos, I mean like maybe 9 minutes plus, then I'll just have them all ready in one day and then schedule them to release once a week. So I'm 3 weeks ahead. And you can do something like that with your Twitter and Instagram also. If you're working on something and you finish, don't post it. Obviously, start working on the next one. Then plan out what it is that you want to post, and post those things after they're already done. That might be the move. Yep. Now, I don't know the nature of what it is that you would post, so it's a little bit different for me than it would be for you. However, having completed stuff on tap will help out. You'll at the very least know what you have to choose from, and you'll be in control of the stuff that you do create. Ah, man, I screwed myself. That'll still be all right. Yeah, all the good stuff's over here anyway. Yeah. Yeah, because I had a buddy of mine. He told me something that tripped me out. He was like, "Oh yeah, I do that all the time. I'll record like 3 videos in one day, and I'll just release them every other week." I was like, don't people know? He's like, "Nah, bro, I just changed my clothes." So he'll record a thing, have it ready, change his shirt, change his hat, change something, and then record that, do it all over again. Then inside of 90 minutes, he's made enough content that will last him 3 weeks. I was very mad because that's an easy fix for the stuff that I was making. And I should have just did that. And since he told me that, that's what I started doing. Come on. Every time. Ooh. Maybe not every time. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Now, again, you're gonna have to adapt that particular strategy to your style of artwork, but it could work. Should work, honestly. No reason why it wouldn't. Gonna have to readjust this liner, but it's all good. Make it work. Optimize to practical methods. Oh yeah, yeah. Once he told me that, and I realized that I could just binge my work and then schedule the release. Oh, easy day. Matter of fact, there's a function in YouTube Studio, or when you plug your stuff up to release it for YouTube, you can schedule the release. So you can upload at once 5, 6 different things, and just pick the day you want it to come out. I did that when I was deploying. I would hold on, let me open this all up. If I knew I was going to be gone for a bit, I would record a bunch of stuff, set it to release on something that gave me a little bit gave my channel a little bit of consistency when I knew I was going to be gone for several months. Then once I had enough internet to upload things, I would do the same thing again, over and over, and it helped. Oh, wait, wrong one. I should have had this right about here. But it's all good. Oh yeah, this is running low. See, on the one hand, I'm very grateful that I have a physical medium. But on the other hand, it's very unforgiving. If I didn't get this stuff pulled apart quick enough, there's no way I would have been able to pull it apart without tearing the material, which means I would have just wasted everything. Right now, still a lot to salvage. Although I will say, you should definitely get your business license, because there's likely a lot of stuff that you're still gonna need to buy, and stuff that you are gonna need to get that you wouldn't have to do normally if it wasn't for your art, wasn't for your work. And when you are running your own business, that is referred to as a reimbursable expense. And depending on what it is, you might not be able to recoup the entire cost of something, but you should be able to recoup a percentage of it, because that's just how the tax code works. So, just something to think about, especially if you are going to be working freelance or as a contractor, that sort of thing. And that's the biggest upside, honestly. If you're going to get a lot of individual contracted work, you'll be what's referred to as a 1099 employee, which means your tax form for your wages is on the 1099 instead of your standard W-2. So that means all your stuff that you bought for work has to be itemized. So you might as well get it all back, or as much of it as you can. I think I have been using barge too long. I can't even smell it anymore. And that is not a good sign. I should never have taken this out because I'm going to use it again. Get in there. There we go. Yep. Also, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it is that you do your artwork. I don't know if you're doing it on Photoshop or what is that? That art app. It's gonna come to me as soon as I'm done. But business license this year, yep. Yeah, hopefully you live in a state or work in a state where it's not crazy expensive to get the license. Once you start doing more expensive work, though, I would recommend getting an S corp or an LLC sort of license. But for right now, you likely won't need it. Every damn time. There we go. That's better. All that extra effort just to have a nice liner. Ridiculous. It's actually not ridiculous, but still. Yeah, I think I'm done with this piece. Trying to see if I need another liner. Yep. Oh, this is pretty thin. All right, let's be realistic. Junk, 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 junk. So right now I'm cutting the stuff that's too thin to use for anything. I'm just cutting those pieces off. This is still usable for something, plus it's a good wide piece. I can still use a lot of this to line something else. It's really, really thin. All of this down here is still very usable. I'm just trying to see where I'm going to cut from. And realistically, this isn't going to get used for anything. And if anyone is curious as to why I'm doing this, ostrich is over $30. I'm sorry, ostrich is pushing $22 a square foot, something like that. So I'm not gonna just not use part of a hide if I can help it. Just chucking it is wasted money. Now the stuff that I saw earlier where I was just thinking, well, I was like, okay, this can't use it, it's too thin. I can't use it for anything. I can't use this to make a watch band. There's not enough on it that looks like ostrich hide for me to use it for anything other than a liner. So maybe I could use this to line the back of a watch band. Maybe. But who needs a blue liner? Literally no one. Let me stop breathing all heavy into the mic. Sorry about that. Nobody tuned in here for ASMR or AMSR? I think it's ASMR. And this bottle or this can is almost tapped. Whoa. And that's what happens when you try to handle things that you just can't. Oh man, did I get glue back there? Nope. But a Skull Reaper, I really hope that you have a breakout year in 2024. I hope all your stuff happens for you, bro. I hope you get the experience. Then after the experience, I hope you get the exposure. I hope you get the engagement. I hope you make good money. I don't know what's considered good for an artist, especially because everything's based off of where you live. But I hope everything goes well for you, man. Seems like you got a plan. You got the intention. You got hopefully I gave you some tips that are applicable. If they're not applicable, sorry. I had best intentions. I'll say that much. If there's anybody else out in the chat too, whether you been here or you just tuned in, I hope that 2024 is a great year for you as well. And if 2023 was a good year, I hope this one was better. Come off the thing. So that the only thing's good. Super dope. Mm. So would you be working for something like for folks that do shows or movies and things like that, or how does that work with the style with the sort of art that you're doing? Are you doing like video game 3D art? I don't know. There's one of the guys I follow on on TikTok. He does lighting and art for digital games. For yeah, for I think his primary training was video games, but I guess he could do it for movies and stuff too. And he was saying that technically his special or his job title is lighting artist. I was like, oh, okay. Focusing on thing 3D. Okay, dope. See, for me it's weird. I'm curious about very technical things, and I'm somewhat technically savvy so far as it comes to usage and maintenance and stuff like that. But the actual artwork of it, the art style, no clue. Completely lost. So when I come across folks like y'all, I'm just like, oh man, how does your job work? I'm fascinated. I ran into a guy when I was in the service. He was a professional dancer. He would go to competitions, and he also had a studio where he taught in. It was Southern California. I can't remember if it was in LA or not specifically. And I was looking at him like, oh man, that's so amazing. You get to perform and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh man, I could never do that. That's amazing. And he's like, bro, you're in the military. You're doing all this, that, and the other, and you're traveling because we were both headed to Japan. He's like, you're doing this, that, and the other. And I was like, oh man, I could never do what you do. And he was looking at me like, oh, I can never do what you do. Meanwhile, I just considered my job, and he considered his job a very creative, but still just his job. So then I realized, man, the world's just full of people who are interesting and who are interested in everything. So anytime I hear about any sort of performance or style or something like that that I haven't heard or just can't conceptualize how it works, I just get super interested. My interest overwhelms my confusion. I had a buddy of mine that I was stationed with. He on my first ship, way back in the before time. He wanted to get into the video game industry as an artist, and this was in I think '04, not even. And he really wanted to do it, and the market was growing, but people outside of the industry had no clue about what was needed and what was good or what was bad in the industry. So we were all just like, all right, bro, good luck, I guess. And I mean, because we knew he really was interested in it and he had a passion for it, but we didn't know anything about what he was trying to do. So the only thing we could do was just be positive. But he got out of the service and went to school and was doing these things, and it's hard. It's a hard industry to get into, and people fail to realize that, with very few exceptions, you don't work for that company so much as they hire you to do the job for them, like for that company, and then when the game is done and your contract is up, then you go look for somewhere else. You don't just work for Eidos or You don't just work for Riot Games. You're an artist that Riot Games hires. And I know this now, but I didn't know that then. And so I was just thinking like, oh, is he trying to work for Microsoft? Like, what's going on here? I don't know. But he knew what he wanted. He knew what he was doing, and he knew what he was, how much he was willing to sacrifice. And sure enough, he put in that work, and we're Facebook friends still. And I'll see posts every now and then. He's putting in that work, and his name is on a couple of video games that I played, and I was super super happy, super glad for him that he had that push and that drive and was willing to go through it all. Because there's a lot of people who don't. Oh, please tell me I have enough on here. I'll be so sad if I don't. Please, please let there be enough. The tears that I will cry if there are not. Because this is so pretty. Just look at that texture, so good. I need to have that on something. Oh, that is with millimeters to spare. Oh my God. Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he had just dropped a post recently saying that he was going on to another thing, and he was hoping that he had it, and I was like, oh man, you got this. I was like, oh, you got this. You've been had this. You always had it. You just gotta let them know that you're the guy. And hopefully this is all properly aligned. I don't want to miss out. Okay. Looks like that cutting blade is on everything. Please don't screw this up. Okay, I'm happy. I'm very happy. It didn't cut all the way through because I kind of babied it along. But I got what I needed. Oh, I didn't. The pain and the hurt. There we go. I'm going to make that work. And this, I'm going to have a liner. That turned out much better. There's still some use for that, but not much. Scrap. Tons of opportunities ever growing, not just industry. Okay. It's the best thing is the opportunities. I'm really gonna like how this is gonna turn out. But this, that's gonna bug me a bit. Just missing a little bit. You know what? I'm not gonna stress about it. I'll just do the second one later. All right, Mr. Mr. Skull Reaper. Let me see if anybody else has replied and I just missed them. Nope. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. Should I, for this wallet here, should I use a veg tan leather like I used for the other ones that I have put away and don't remember where I put them? All right, here we go. Should I use a leather like this? So it'll be cut from this piece here, and obviously it'll darken up to be a little bit brown. Or do I use a somewhat matching leather? Also, if the other viewer that I have who's not Skull Reaper, if you have any opinions, I will take those as well. So what do we think? Blue or the veg tan? Oh, for the rest of the wallet, because it's going to look like this. So do I use this blue leather for the rest of the pieces, or do I make it look like this here with the vegetable plain or the standard vegetable tan? So it look like this, or it would look like, or it would have this right here. Oh wait, I think I held that way out of frame. So this look here or up against this blue here. What am I going to use for the rest of the wallet? Well, I'm going to cut this piece out anyway. I don't like how that looks. Still. Dark blue go over the light blue. Yeah, that's right. Well, as they say here where I live, ¿por qué no los dos? Challenge accepted. All right, so we're going to just double it up. So this will be the back, this will be the front. We're going to go blue back piece, tan pocket, blue, it'll be tan and then blue, tan, blue. Yep. We're going to double it up. Thank you, Mr. Skull Reaper. All right, double up time. All right, Skull Reaper. If this is a hit and people like it, I'll give you a high five. I mean, a digital one, but still. Scrap bin off to the side. No. See, I live in a place in the U.S. where there is a lot. I think I hear more Spanish than I hear English, depending on where I go and what time of the day, which to me, actually, I think is pretty awesome. That's just because I love languages and people, cultures, all that sort of good stuff. And ¿por qué no los dos is why not both? I mean, the literal translation is why not the two? But the proper translation is why not both? Da, da, da. And flip. There we go. If I get all these ready to go, I will be doing pretty solid. Normally I would just start putting it all together, but no. We got to be fancy. We got to put the logo on this bad boy. Looks like I missed a spot. All right. Am I done? I might be done with that. It's too bad I already called this wallet the Wave Wallet or the Wavy Wallet. Just to be funny, I would call it the Reaper. Only downside is there's nothing death related on it, so people might wonder why. Sorry I'm off camera. I'm just getting this thing ready to be pressed again. Come on. Is there something not being... Okay, there we go. Gotta love it. Branding for the win. Branding for the win. All right, so this one I'm not going to be able to glue on because I attached two pieces. So I need to add some edge paint to the end of this here, which I'm not going to do on camera. I have to be physically close to the material to do it so I don't mess up. So this will get as close to being ready to stitch as I can get it before I have to do the rest of the stuff off camera. Yeah. I think that will turn out pretty nice. Hey, Skull Reaper. Hey, you don't have to say where it is that you're at, but let me know in the chat if you're in the U.S. There we go. Ah, such a faux pas. I'm doing this with red thread. Fashion gods, please forgive me. And of course that happened. Pattern broke. No. Now I gotta JB weld this bad boy together. I mean, I've done it before, I just don't like doing it. It's proof positive of how stupid I am. It's one thing to be stupid, but I mean, the proof? On stream, no less? Come on. You still there, Skull Reaper? Or am I speaking into the void? Into the void it shall be. My screen is frozen. And just prep this already. Undo the edge paint after stream. If ain't nobody watching, I'm gonna just wrap this stream up. Let me check. And if anybody is watching, please don't forget to throw me a like if you haven't already. I appreciate it. Okay, setting things up. Cool, cool. Da 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 da. All right, bet. I did not see any of these things after twinning. I guess the chat thing froze. It's all good. It happens. Yeah, let's attach this now. This is gonna be one of those rare ones with the edge paint. All right. Let me get a good piece of scrap here. Please note this has nothing to do with leathercraft right now, other than me repairing my stuff. So for anybody watching who has not used epoxy before, it comes in two parts, and you have to mix it, usually 50-50, especially if the applicator has you applying both things at the same time. So you have the resin and then the hardener. So you can't tell, but there's a chemical reaction happening inside of this mixture that I have here. And this clear paste that I'm applying will soon start to get hot and then solidify. And I will be ensuring that it solidifies with my two pieces attached to itself. Boom. And then once everything is all nice and properly aligned, binder clips for the win. This one's going to be a little awkward. I might end up going for a bigger one. Yeah. Shit. All right, so we've covered leathercraft, economics, taxes, and epoxy repair. So I would say this stream is certified man approved. Like this is a solid man card reaffirming stream here. another smaller one over here. Yep, only small ones, so. There we go. And that's just to make sure that it stands up on end. This is trash. Well, I'd be lying if I said that didn't set the stream back, because I was going to use that piece to make a few things. Let me see if I've got something similar. I just need something that is, no, that's 4 different stitches. I need something simple. Well, what could be more simple than one single stitch? Well, let's put these things away. Well, 2 pieces, but 1 single stitch to put it all together. Although there is going to be some more gluing. And we're going with purple, the color of royalty. Yeah. Dubs in the chat for the epoxy. No, won't need that. Nor that. Always gonna need that. Come on, there we go. Won't need that either. Oh my goodness, would you look? A clear workspace. Hasn't been like that in a while. So I like this. It's got what I call a crackle texture. So I'm just going to cut a big section off of it and make as many of these as I can from it. Not from there. I'll take silly things for 100, Alex. Completely unnecessary blade. Well, that's a lie. It's actually really useful, especially this end here. It's bladed, so I can just. I mean, it looks like something from Assassin's Creed, but no. No, it's just a regular old leather working tool. And also because I just love the look to it. Gonna get some of this red in here too. No. Let's move this all the way out the way here. It really is a nice blade. I do like it. So these are going to be the back panels here, or the center and the back panel. Does anybody have any requests or questions? Because once I cut these and get them ready, I'm going to wrap the stream up after that. Sorry this is taking so long. The alignment's all jacked up. Gonna have to cheat. I don't advocate for cheating, but man, if it don't work. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna lie, I really do like this color. I mean, I'm somewhat biased towards purple, but I like this texture a whole lot. Got a fair amount left, so actually. Can't use these, but these will be good for watch bands later. And now for the red. I will be right there, I promise. Oh, come on. Man, I am incredibly hungry. Once the stream is over, dinner time. Let me see if I missed anything. Okay. Not sure why the music cut off, but okay. All right. So what I'm gonna do differently than what I was doing before, I'm going to put my logo down here, which means I have to go and get the smaller one. So I'm gonna get these as ready to go as I can, minus the front pockets. So these won't get stamped until after the stream is over, but I'm gonna glue the rest of these together. Put this away, because I don't need it. Excess glue off. And for those watching, if you are interested in what I'm using, right now I'm using the glue I'm using is Aqualim 315. I got it from District Leather Supply. I believe they still are a distributor of Aqualim. It's a water-based adhesive. I've had zero issues with this stuff since I've been using it. It's a great one. It lasts a long time. As long as you treat it well, keep it out of the light when you're not using it. I just keep it in the closet or in my my work cabinet drawer, and I keep it in this this glue pot here, as opposed to administering it straight from the container the glue came in. It's just less air exposure, less likelihood to dry out. Whoa, too much. These glue pots are really weird, but they work similarly to actually exactly like how you see some of those pet water feeders, where you have a huge reservoir on one end and then a slight opening towards the bottom where the actual water comes out. That's how this works. So I've got a whole bunch of glue back here in this portion, and as I use it, it'll just slowly come down. It'll equal out because of the pressure. It is a very useful tool. Let's go. Let's do this. All right. It's even got something that I don't see on those larger steel glue pots, and that is this part right here. So especially if you're applying using a brush, which I've seen some people use, you can dip down and get as much as you dip down for the application and then brush off before it hits the rim of the item. So those steel ones, they just have so much glue built up around it. It's like a damn volcano slowly growing. And I know some guys are, I don't know, they see it as kind of like a badge of honor. The hey, I'm doing so much work. Look at how much my glue pot is built up. But the military man in me only sees something that hasn't been cleaned off, and it irks me. I can't do that. So to have a feature or a function built in that allows for excess glue to come off, love it. Love it. All about it. That's what we're here for. I'm not sure why a little insect that flies decided its best option was to crawl around on my desk in front of me. But hey, not everybody likes to win. That guy didn't. Closed up. Sorry if I keep going off out of frame. I'm so used to working with my hands directly in front of me, and it's been a slow creep and doing that all the time. I promise you it's not personal. Yeah. All right. It's one. So, pro tip when you're putting things together, and you want to make sure that they align, get the corners first and then let the ends come together. Or rather, let the center come together. You'll have less to adjust. So just bow it like this. The corners are already lined up. Boom. Nice and smooth, easy day. Need to get this glue spreader away from my project though. That's for dang sure. That's how silliness happens. Whoa. Let me see if I'm missing anything in the chat here. All right, cool, cool. All right, so the next stream, which, well, today's Wednesday. The next stream will be tomorrow. Maybe, well, definitely tomorrow afternoon, but I don't know when exactly. I'll make sure I put it out on the YouTube channel and on Instagram and everything. Because I have the market Saturday, so I have to spend all of Friday finishing everything I didn't intend on finishing. Or everything I intended on finishing but didn't. Tomorrow, though, for the stream, I'm going to be putting together a, where's the bag? So I'll be doing this template here. So this is one large piece for the body, then this center gussets, and it will make this bag here. Now granted, this was something I did on my own for this bag. I'll likely not be doing the tooling and everything on stream because it's just very loud, and I won't do that if I don't have to. Well, it's loud for the stream anyway. So we'll be doing this one here, and if things go well enough with the construction, like with the lining up and everything, if I can finish the stitch on both sides and everything goes smoothly, I mean, then I'll do another one and I'll do a giveaway for the first one. I'm just gonna keep it simple and straightforward. It will be cowhide, about maybe 6 5 to 6 ounces, something like this here. Not sure what color because I have quite a few things, but that's how we'll get this rolling for this one here for tomorrow. All right, so these are ready to go here. These they just require the requisite front pocket, but I got to get the stamp on those. I'm gonna wrap it up. Stream's been going for a long time, but thank you everybody who showed up. Thanks for everybody who participated. If you haven't already, slide me a like. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Comment if you have anything that you wanted to put out that you didn't get to put out during the stream. If you like what I'm doing, please go ahead and slide me a subscribe. I really, really appreciate it. That's all I got. Thank you so much for rocking with me here on the stream. I'm Renard, and I'm out. Peace.